we're going to be bringing Davey Hamilton, who had a very, very successful event recently in Las Vegas. And we have also a video that we're going to share with you from the event. So Davey is joining us. And hello, Davey, how are you?
Hello, hope you guys can hear me all right. I just got this set up.
Perfectly.
Cool,
Perfect.
awesome.
Let's start with your video.
Okay.
For $50,000 to
if I get off the bottom, it is snug. But if I can run my line,
yeah, but you gotta run traffic, man. He's gonna beat you. With 2 to go, he's on your ball.
yes.
You checked out before that. He's beating you in traffic. Alone, you're better.
Oh, I just need a driver.
Quarter road down.
On the right, this one we're going to half down. Go to 25. I'm saving shit tons of yellow. Right front and right rear.
Okay.
We're pretty good, just like that much. I just need to do a better job. If you want to give it, this much, give it. This much.
It's a regular stuff? Okay. So, no, it's there. I wouldn't, like, if he wants to go and fight on the start here, it's not. You got 50 laps to go, right?
Exactly. Yeah, like I'll try and fight him over it.
Yeah, let him wear his shit out.
If Harry, I'll let him go, follow him into traffic.
Yeah.
Hey, give him shit, Aaron. Thanks, bud. You got this.
Okay, I'm telling you what's going on.
Just gonna drive harder in traffic.
The 1 is Davey Hamilton. The black 7 is Otto Sitterly. 2 modified legends having at it. Otto Sitterly, the master of the modifieds, the supers, takes the win here. Weathered the storm. 75 watts. Checkered flag falls. Good job, dude. Green flag, we're racing for 50 grand in Vegas. Wilson leads him down into 1. Jacob Bobby Santos goes to second on black 22.
I'm telling you, Santos is possessed in the opening laps here.
Cody Swanson's right there on the inside. Oh, yeah! Cody Swanson with a great start. And look at that 50 launch off the backstretch. Cody Swanson, he's done it. He wins the $50,000 at the Open Wheel Showdown.
You just won $50,000. How does this feel for you?
I mean, it's really special, right? New this summer, you know, I don't know, I haven't been doing for a while, and it'd be hard enough to figure that out, right? And still, for me to come out and even do well, I'd have to be in a car that was really good, and this car is really good. I mean, Dick.
Well, I don't know if Francis is coming back or not, but we'll go ahead and that video, Davey, really does a good job of building up what a crown event in motorsports should be, you know, building to a fantastic crescendo at the end. Second annual event at the Bull Ring at Las Vegas Motor Speedway this year, the Open Wheel Showdown. Were you pleased with this year's event?
Yeah, last year was the first time, and it went so perfect and smooth that it's a rare situation. So unfortunately, this year we had some hiccups throughout the year, but and this year we had to deal with rain and wind and stuff. So Vegas doesn't see rain very often, but it delayed our program a little bit. But that's the goal here is building this event up to be a crown jewel, like you said, little 500, the Dirt in December dome race, the old Copper World Classic, Turkey Night. I want people to think that when they go to the Open Wheel Showdown, it's on their list of winning in their lifetime.
You mentioned the Copper World Classic. Your video there certainly gave a feel of that with the various divisions. And is that where the inspiration for this event came from when you started it?
Yeah, when it's funny is a lot of people don't realize this, but years ago I had a 20, 30 page deck that I like drew out on paper, just wrote about it. And originally it was supposed to be the sprint car showdown. It wasn't even Open Wheel Showdown. And over time, obviously my dad and my grandfather have a huge racing history. And I started thinking and watching videos. I'm like, man, it'd be so cool to be a part of something like that in today's world. And there really isn't that in our pavement world anymore, short track anyways. So just seeing to what it's turning into and what it's becoming, it's pretty incredible. But really the Copper World Classic type image of what I'm trying to do here is it's really because of my dad. He was a super modified legend, and I think the super modified world in today's world anyways it's kind of a northeast heavy sport, and the West Coast super modified is just starting to get rebuilt, and I think my event is helping draw teams from all over the country. Hopefully we can keep building onto that, and it is a sprint car event. I'm not gonna lie to you, it is a sprint car event, but it's still cool to have other classes a part of it as well.
What did you learn, not just this year, but in 2 years of having the event that you'll continue to apply that'll help you build the event for years to come?
Number one is you can't make everybody happy no matter what. So it's learning about
Well,
that.
that's life
But
as a
also,
promoter.
exactly. So that, but also something that it was a big reality check for me this year is that I need to be able to listen to other people and listen to their advice and listen to their views. I built this event kind of on my own from day one, and I was so just stubborn about how I wanted to be, how I wanted to look, how I wanted to feel, that it's kind of helped it grow to what it is. But now that it is what it is, I need to be able to take advice and opinions from other people. And luckily now I have a partner on this program, or on the Open Wheel Showdown. His name's Stuart Young, and it's cool to have him on board and helping me learn the business side of it. So that way this business and this event can happen for years to come, instead of just being all passion and love sprint car racing and just putting out everything I can. Now it's becoming an actual business that I'm learning a lot from at my age.
I'm sure that as you continue to race, that brings up
Yeah.
the business side and the racing side. And how do you balance your promoter's hat and your helmet?
It's stressful. I mean, I have my own goals and dreams as a race car driver myself. My grandfather attempted to compete in the Indy 500 years ago. My dad was very successful in his IndyCar career, and at the end of the day, that's where my goal is even if I get the chance to run one Indy 500 in my lifetime, I know I made it somewhere. I will say, I'm not going to brag here, but technically I kind of am an IndyCar driver now that I'm able to do the two-seater IndyCar stuff, which to me, that's a dream come true. But hopefully one day we're seeing me at the Yard of Bricks actually competing. But it for that event though, putting my helmet on in the sprint car and going out there to try to win it. Obviously my team's very competitive, so we show some great speed and promise. Last year I finished third. I think that's a good thing, because if I would have won my event the first time out, I don't think everybody would have been happy. But this year, just because of all the headaches of like the weather, we had a lot more people this year, a lot more moving parts that it did stress me out a little bit. But now I have really good people behind me. We all learned this year, and going into year three, hopefully, and the plan is I just put my helmet on, and hopefully I could collect that 50 grand instead of giving it to somebody else.
The timing of the event being in November helps you draw from all corners of North America. Talk a little bit about the competitors that were there this year and where they came from and what some of them went through to get there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's kind of one of those weird years that it seemed like the winter hit us a little earlier than expected. And there was winter snowstorms kind of going around in the northwest, the northeast, and in the middle of the country as well. So weather is a big thing, and the time of the year, what I wanted to do was try to hit where nothing else is competing. And it's kind of hard when you have USAC running on the West Coast, obviously. And I had some of those competitors, like CJ Leary, Justin Grant last year. Some of these guys that run with me are pretty heavy in the USAC dirt scene. So I try to schedule it to where it doesn't conflict with that. And it's not easy because Vegas, it's hit or miss, man. You could be hot one day and cold, freezing cold the next. So we're continuing to kind of move up. Last year we were the first week of December. This year we're middle of November, and hopefully in 2025, when we announce our dates there, it's going to be even earlier than that. The key is just obviously not to compete against NASCAR, NHRA, IndyCar, anything, because your next guest, Tony Stewart, I'm hoping that I could get him convinced to get back in a super modified and race with us next year.
Well, wouldn't that be something?
That would be cool.
Yeah, it's difficult to find a time when nobody's racing because anymore there are very few off weeks in the motorsports industry.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's hit or miss. I mean, and the other thing is too is that Las Vegas Motor Speedway has hundreds of events throughout the year, and they have their local stuff going on at the bull ring. I come in, I rent the facility out, and I run the show how I want it. That doesn't give me a lot of the negotiation purposes. When they have all these events, I only get a certain amount of weekends to choose from.
Right.
And unfortunately, it's not easy when you have people all over the country. They have their opinion. You got to make the sponsors happy on what they want. So it comes down to nobody's gonna be happy, but it's the best that I could do from a choosing weekend standpoint. So we'll see what happens. I think 2025, like I said, it is going to be moved up a little bit. I think it's going to be better for everyone, and hopefully we can see some more bigger names be drawn in.
Do you have any interest in other racing promotions? Anything else that you're working on outside of the Open Wheel Showdown?
I have too much going on, to be honest with you, but it's all positive. It's great. We are involved with a race down here in Florida, the Children's Dream Fund 50 at Citrus County Speedway. Open Wheel Showdown was kind of heavily helping getting that going with JJ Dutton. He's a promoter of that. We decided that we're going to let him kind of do it how he sees fit. It's his dream. It's his vision. He put in all the work. He's the one going to get the sponsors. There's no reason for me to take that away from him. So I told him, like, look, man, let's just help you. I want to help market you. I'll give you advice and opinions based off my experience for the past 2 years of these events in Vegas. So we're involved there, but not on that Open Wheel Showdown scale. We're going to keep the Open Wheel Showdown brand and name to what it's really becoming, is that Copper World feel in Vegas, and just do that one big event every year. I am involved with another series that will probably be announced here soon, in the Pavement sprint car world, that I'm trying to get going and help build the wing sprint car program around the country.
Interesting. So let's talk about your personal racing a little bit. Maybe we'll shoot back to the Open Wheel Challenge here in a minute, but what are your plans for next year? What are you looking to do? Various types of cars, series?
Yeah, my goal, my dream, and my vision is still to IndyCar, right? And to do that, you kind of have to go through the Indy Next ladder system to get there. It's a hard thing to accomplish and make in today's world. You got a lot of young kids coming up with extreme talent and a perfect checkbook. In my situation, it's really about finding sponsors to help pay for those things. And I spend the past 6 months, 7 months solely, really the whole year, focus on Open Wheel Showdown. So I'm out there collecting funding and sponsorship and investors to be able to help grow that to what it's supposed to be. Then trying to fit in my personal sponsorship side of things, it's very difficult because I don't want to take away from the event of something that could be around for a long time. Right now, I don't really have a lot, planned for me as far as my schedule for 2025. I know I'm going to be pavement wing sprint car racing. I drive for Kirk Morgan Racing, and he's a big believer in me, and I don't think I'm going to go away anytime soon. We have a pretty good thing going, so I know that's going to be in my back pocket. We're going to do some non-wing racing, and but at the end of the day, I'm still pushing really hard to be an Indy Next driver, and we'll see what happens. I got some things in the works, but until everything's all perfect, it's a lot of work in progress right now.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. It's a completely different kind of racing than sprint car racing. The cars are very different, and
Yeah.
talk a little bit about the challenges that the difference in the cars creates when you're trying to get a ride like that.
Yeah, back in the day, back when my dad and those kind of guys were coming up through the ranks, AJ Foyt and stuff, they were able to go the sprint car route almost and become an IndyCar driver, go through USAC and become an IndyCar driver. And in today's world, you don't really see that very often anymore. Like Brian Clausen, him, Chris Windham, even myself. I ran Indy at Freedom, the Freedom 100 race a couple years ago, and it's unfortunate, but it is tough. You got these guys coming from Europe and different countries, and all they do is road course racing, and they're focused on that. And they're used to the rear engine cars, where guys like us are, used to the front engine. And it's a huge difference. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Taylor Ferns, she tried it out last year as well, and she's a sprint car girl, and props to her for giving it a try. But it just goes to show it's tough. And even if I get the shot, I know it's not going to be easy, and it's got to be a multi-year plan almost, because you're going to need seat time. That's my goal. My goal would be to at least get onto the ovals for next year in the Indy Next, because of course, that's kind of where I grew up. I'm not a road course guy. I wish I was, but I'm not. And so if I could at least do the testing, the oval races, and then transition into the road course stuff in 2026, that would be a huge start.
When you started the Open Wheel Showdown, you selected winged sprint cars, and there's those of us close to sport no, there's only a few pockets for winged asphalt sprint car racing in the country. How many cars did you have this year?
We had over 50, but we had over 71 entries, right? And you're exactly right. I mean, last year, year one, I had 58 entries total, and I only had mid 40s show up. And it's cool to see the number grow, but we want to see the number grow at the facility as well. Entries are great. I mean, they're paid entries, don't get me wrong. And that number is the highest number that any short track pavement sprint car series has seen in a long time. So it's going in the right direction. But I chose wing sprint car racing because, I guess, to be a little biased at it, I'm good at it. I'm good at wing sprint car racing. I've won a lot of races and championships, and that's where I grew up going. And I think they're the coolest cars to drive, and they're fun. And I don't think people give them enough credit. Drivers know, obviously, but it's something that I have a lot of passion for. So I want to help see the wing sprint car pavement side of things grow and be like High Limit, the World of Outlaws, where we go to these tracks and people are so excited to see those cars on pavement because we're fast. I mean, it's scary fast to see our cars, So we'll see what happens down the road, in the next few years, or what develops in our sport on pavement. But I'm young and I'm hungry, so I'm not going to be giving up on my passion. That's for sure.
Do you think there's how do you build wing sprint car racing and make more and more shows across the country on an asphalt standpoint? Clearly, it doesn't need a lot of attention from dirt.
No, right. Yeah, I think the main problem in our portion of the world is getting everybody on the same page. You got the Southeast that are heavy in their 360 rules, and honestly, they don't have a proper race director or or I guess tech. They don't tech cars as much down here, right? So then you go to the Midwest, they do tech cars properly, but it's a whole different rule. You have to have different wheels, different offset. It's a 410 engine up there. Then you go out to like the West Coast, where they have restricted rules in the engine to kind of make it more fair. I actually do that rule as well for my series. I would like to see it become a 410 Open Wheel Showdown and just bring what you have. But what I'm trying to do is there's too many different series around the country that have different engine programs. So I try to make it fair and restrict it, the 410s, to where the 360 guys can come and compete with us as well. I mean, we had a couple 360 guys this year that made the A main, and it shows you can still make the race and be competitive, but realistically, I think the 410s still have a little bit of an advantage.
You had the super modifieds, and this year you added the modifieds. You think you'll stick with those three next year, or?
So supers, I had some great numbers. I mean, we had, high 20s when it came to the entry list, and we had 19 show up, which for the West Coast, that doesn't sound like a lot, but for the West Coast, it's insane. It's really good. The issue is that there's not as much excitement anymore for those things out there. So I'm trying to help build that. And my dad is on, I'll be honest with you, the reason why I have super modifieds is because I get to see my dad and my grandpa race each other. That's the coolest thing ever. My grandpa's 85 basically, and the fact that he even gets in a car, and he just had a hip replacement, which is why he's even driving, I don't know, but it's a Hamilton thing, I guess. So it's cool to have those guys a part of it. I don't want to see super modifieds go away, but like I said, now it's turning into a business and not just passion. So I think you'll for sure see wing sprint cars. I think you'll probably see super modifieds. The modified guys, they were head over heels, man. They thought this was their Indy 500. They were all coming up to me, thanking me. I mean, asking to help if they could in any way. I've never driven a modified. I'm not a modified guy, but to see all that exchange from these teams and drivers and sponsors come up to me and just thank me for having them a part of it, it makes me want to bring them back and do more for them. I realistically though, when I first came up with this or announced this, we did midgets, right? I'm a midget guy. I drive midgets here and there for Kevin Gerhardt and Western Speed Racing. And I don't want to see midget racing die on pavement. They have a good thing on dirt, but it's struggling on pavement. And Casey Kohler, the promoter at Indianapolis Raceway Park, he is doing a phenomenal job of what he's doing there. I'm trying to piggyback off him a little bit to help me get the car count that I should for midgets. This year we had to basically cancel the midget portion to add the modifieds. And the reason we did that is because of the struggle of car count for those guys. It's not ideal. I have a good purse for the midgets. It's a $60,000 plus purse for just your midget. And so we're doing the best we can, but I'd like to see the midgets back for 2025. But realistically, I got to see, 25 plus entries at least to show the sponsors that, hey, we're doing the right thing. I do think we're going to have a fourth class, though. I will say that. There will probably be 4 classes going into 2025 instead of the 3. So we'll see what happens. We kind of know what's going on, but I don't want to release anything just yet.
Sure, understood. We'll look for that announcement sometime in the coming weeks, right?
Yep.
What else do you think you can add to the Open Wheel Showdown to increase the appeal, the attendance, people making the streaming purchase, so on and so forth?
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like we do for the pavement side, the dirt thing, everybody on dirt, it seems like it's in a really good direction, and they get good attendance, good TV numbers, all that stuff. I'm doing the best I can for pavement, which we have the biggest event of the country right now, but there's a lot that needs to be done. Unfortunately, I don't get to control. Las Vegas Motor Speedway still controls the front gate portion of the attendance. I'll be honest with you, I don't, even though I rent the whole facility, I don't get to keep that. So I don't really go out of my way to advertise getting front gate tickets. I try to advertise back gate, come in the pits, interact with the drivers, the sponsors are there, the hospitality's there, and you get to mingle with everybody. So hopefully here in the years to come, I'll be able to advertise the front gate and the grandstands a little bit more. I think our key is to just keep building on what we have. This year we added fireworks show to it, and it just helped make the event even cooler and better. But I want to see a concert happen there. I want to see maybe a freestyle motocross event happen there, just to help these fans that actually come out for that event have something more to kind of watch than just the stuff going on track. So we're trying to build it to an event there's something going around in this corner, a concert or freestyle event, while there's track or cars on track as well. So that way it's a full weekend of just multiple different things you could go do.
I think one thing that certainly through your event and through others will help wing sprint car racing on asphalt is getting more promotion for you guys who sit behind the wheel. You and the Bobby Santoses and the Cody Swansons and Aaron Willisons and guys like that,
Mhm.
really unique and outstanding types of race car drivers that do not get the recognition that the dirt sprint car drivers receive.
Oh, look at Cody Swanson. I mean, that guy has won everything you could think of and beyond. And it blows my mind that he is not in NASCAR or IndyCar. I don't know how. I don't even get it. I mean, even if I got the opportunity to, I'd still look back and be like, there's one guy that really deserves it, and it's Cody Swanson. I don't know how he hasn't been able to make that there, but I know that's probably his goal or hopes one day. But I mean, he's not even a wing sprint car guy. He just showed up. That was his first time in the car all year and just showed up and took us to school basically. So we'll see him back next year, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, a lot of good talent in the wing sprint cars. Open Wheel Showdown, one of the great upcoming events in the country. Going to be one of the classics for years to come.
David, thank
Yep.
you, and I'm sure Judy can share the same thought. I mean, during our PRI days a long time ago with Steve Lewis, one of the most fun we ever had was producing the Twin 25. If you remember those races, those midget races with $50,000 to win, and the winner of the first session would basically start last, and that was one of the greatest fun we ever had. So congratulations on putting
Thank you.
such a wonderful event. Thank you for being with us.
And
So stay with
Davey,
us
I
if you
agree with you. Cody is deserving of more. He's a good friend.
He is. Yeah, he really is. It's kind of unfortunate to see that he's not in that next level. Yeah, I don't, but he deserves it for sure.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. I admire what you're doing already. And you're young, so you have so
I'm
much
young.
more ahead of you.
EPARTRADE is a digital platform that we've created basically to make life easier in the business community of auto racing.
EPARTRADE, there is no e-commerce. It's literally a connection just like at a trade show. So now, any time of the year, a buyer could reach out to a supplier.
When you see a product that you're interested in, all you need to do is click on request more information, and then from there it is forwarded directly to the buyer or to the supplier.
EPARTRADE really eliminates having to travel, closing down your shop. Now you have a place to showcase globally your racing product and technology.
Looking for a quick fix of motorsports news? The Speed Sport Daily is what you need. It's a free racing newsletter delivered directly to your email every day. We'll cover the winners and the losers and tell you who's making news off the track. It's NASCAR, NHRA, World of Outlaw, IndyCar, and so much more. Go to speedsport.com today and get signed up for America's free racing newsletter and get your daily motorsports fix. The Speed Sport Daily.
Land speed record holder George Poteet's Speed Demon rocketed 481 miles per hour at the Bonneville Salt Flats. You don't go that fast without ARP fasteners.
There is no way that we could go the speed that we've gone, the number of times we've gone, with a lesser quality bolt than ARP supplies to us. And we absolutely wouldn't be where we were today if it weren't for ARP.
When failure is not an option, it's ARP-bolts.com.
We're Performance Plus Global Logistics. Our team of dedicated performance industry and logistics experts get valuable cars and components to the track on time in top condition. We provide expedited logistics solutions for the performance industry using direct routes instead of deferred options, and communicate all necessary information to the appropriate resources to meet regulations and ensure a smooth transit and secure delivery, both domestically and internationally. And we exceed customer expectations by providing best-in-class service with an efficient and cost-effective system in place. Contact us today to book your next shipment.
Scott Lewis & Associates, the sales, marketing, and branding specialist for the automotive performance industry since 1988. We get our manufacturers on track by opening an extensive distribution network, providing product training to sales staff, creating fully integrated sales and marketing strategies, building successful industry partnerships, attending trade shows, events, and races, offering first-class support to customers. SLAI delivers solutions that win you sales. To get in touch with an SLAI representative, call 516-378-6100. Go to scottlewisinc.com or email info@scottlewisinc.com.
With roots in the Midwest that date back well before the Model T, Fifth Third Bank has a long history of serving the needs of automotive companies. While much has changed over the years, our passion for helping businesses put cars on the road and on the track has not. Today, we are more committed than ever as a member of SEMA, a founding member of PRI, and a sponsor of multiple race teams across several racing series.
For over a decade, Fifth Third Bank has been a staunch supporter of our industry and a great partner for many companies in the motorsports field.
Our business has been growing extremely fast, and really we could not be where we are today without Fifth Third. They provided amazing strategic advice, the capital we need to support our phases of growth.
They are true partners for me now, and what they do with their involvement in motorsports is untouched in this community.
Where can we take your business? Fifth Third Bank.
You work as hard as your truck, and you have no time for downtime. That's why more truck owners trust Blue Def, America's #1 diesel exhaust fluid brand. Each batch is guaranteed pure, so you can avoid costly repairs caused by inferior DEF. Demand America's best for your truck with Blue Def and Blue Def Platinum. Put trust in your truck.
When it comes to pushing the limits of performance, the pros know there's no room for compromise. At Crower Cams, we don't just engineer camshafts and valve train components, we redefine what power means. Since 1955, Crower Cams has been the name trusted by racers, engine builders, and gearheads around the globe. Whether you're building a street machine, a dragster, or a track car, Crower Cams provides the muscle you need to dominate. And with Crower, victory is within your reach.
For over 25 years, Wisconsin-based C-Tech Manufacturing has been engineering and manufacturing the toughest, most accessible aluminum tool drawers, cabinets, carts, and tactical storage solutions for America's hardest working professionals. Whatever you need to store and however you need to store it, put your trust in C-Tech Manufacturing. We build it better. Visit our new website at ctechmanufacturing.com or give us a call at 715-355-8842.
If you're watching this video, you might be wondering,
what is WPC? WPC is a surface treatment designed to reduce friction and increase the strength of metal parts. As much as it might seem like a coating, WPC is actually a surface treatment. Think of it like shot painting, but the media is much finer, like talc. So what you're left with is a super hard, smooth surface that actually has some proprietary dry lubricants embedded within it. For more information, visit WPCtreatment.com.